All right, my neighbor told me some guys crawled out the window. Who was that? Who crawled out the window?
I'd like to know myself.
Oh, well, you were there, obviously. The neighbor said, hey, your house broke into? I'm like, I don't know, I can go check and think. Why would my house be broken? He said, I seen somebody crawling out of your window. I can only assume it was a guy she was messing around with. No one took nothing.
Oh, you are in an intimate relationship.
But she's still married.
Oh, where's that?
You get it from your mama.
No, you get your behavior from your mother, because
but
you
we've
all
never been
don't
on
know
31st
anything.
Street.
Hold on.
Let's get it correct,
Hold
sir.
on.
You know about like how a female got a little girl code, right? How you could look at your friend and you could tell a whole paragraph just by doing this. You know what I mean,
That's
right?
how we do?
Look how you looking right now. You
We
telling
really can't do this.
Ms. Fisher claims that after having their first child and becoming pregnant again, Mr. Meyer abandoned her and denied fathering her second child, Xavier. She is visibly upset and firm in her assertion.
But after having your first child and getting pregnant again, he abandoned you and denied he fathered your second child, Xavier.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Meyer argues that Ms. Fisher was unfaithful, having multiple affairs during their relationship, which leads him to doubt the paternity of Xavier. He is adamant that they were not together when Xavier was conceived.
You contend Ms. Fisher was a serial cheater who had numerous liaisons with different men during your relationship. You and the plaintiff were not even together when she conceived her child, and there is absolutely no way you are Xavier's father.
Ms. Fisher details how Mr. Meyer left after finding out about her second pregnancy, leading her to move in with a family member to improve their lives. This shift was marked by Mr. Meyer's decreasing involvement and eventual absence.
After the new year, we were gonna have a second son. Him knowing that, he decided he didn't want anything to do with it. I ended up living with another family member, just to better our lives. We were doing a switch off, watching our son together, and after that, we had a lot of disagreements, just arguing a lot, turned into him not coming around at all.
In a heated exchange, Mr. Meyer expresses his conviction that Xavier is not his child, detailing incidents of Ms. Fisher's alleged infidelity, including finding strangers in his home, which further fuels his doubt.
You haven't done anything because Xavier's not your child?
No, that is not my child.
Explain your position to the court.
We were not together when she got pregnant with Xavier. She's cheated on me multiple times. I came home, I found my mattress flipped over. Came home, I found multiple people in my bedroom.
A minor yet revealing argument erupts over their first son's name, reflecting deeper issues of trust and acknowledgement, complicating Mr. Meyer's feelings about his paternity.
I have a 3-year-old son who is almost 4 years old this year, named him after Michael. So he is a junior.
She wouldn't even name him Junior. She named him the second.
Well, my son is the second. That's the same thing.
I wanted him to be Junior.
Okay,
I think she knew it wasn't my son. That's why she wouldn't do it.
So she gave him the second?
So she named him the second instead, yeah.
Mr. Meyer recounts his reaction to the news of Ms. Fisher's pregnancy, highlighting his doubts and the inconsistent details about the pregnancy timeline, which he uses to justify his skepticism.
Well, she explained to me and told me she was pregnant. At the time before that, we were kind of on and off. We were fighting constantly. I don't think we were really together at that time. With other guys, I really didn't think the kid was mine at all. There was a chance the kid was mine. It didn't add up when she told me. She constantly changed her due dates. Like, nothing made sense. It added up.
A dramatic moment arises when Mr. Meyer accuses Ms. Fisher of cheating, based on a neighbor's claim of seeing a man escape through a window, which Ms. Fisher vehemently denies, arguing the impossibility of such an observation.
All right, my neighbor told me some guys crawled out the window. Who was that? Who crawled out the window?
I'd like to know myself.
Oh, well, you were there, obviously. I mean, the neighbor said, hey, your house broke into? I'm like, I don't know, I can go check and think. Why would my house be broken? He said, I seen somebody crawling out of your window. Really? So I go run to my house. Nothing's gone or nothing like that. I can only assume it was a guy she was messing around with. No one took nothing.
Ms. Fisher describes a poignant scene where she forced Mr. Meyer to hold Xavier for the first time, hoping it would change his mind. Mr. Meyer, in tears, insists on his non-paternity. The DNA results are up next, and they're a real game changer. Stay tuned.
I physically make this man hold his own child for the first time, thinking that Hope feels some sort of guilt in his heart and know that this is his child when he looks at him in his eyes. He refuses to see that, so he cries, asking, I would just rather you not come around anymore.
I didn't want to take the baby. You know, it's not mine. I don't want to see him or hold him.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Meyer, you are the father.
Can you believe what just went down? Mr. Jones throws a curveball by expressing his serious doubts about being the father of Ms. Turner's 5-month-old son, Amir. He spills the beans that a cryptic text message received 3 weeks ago cranked up his suspicions. This juicy piece of gossip has him questioning the paternity, throwing a spicy twist into the courtroom drama. Brace yourself, because the saga is just heating up.
Mr. Jones, you state you have always believed you are not father of the defendant's 5-month-old son, Amir. You claim your suspicion suspicions were confirmed after a text message just 3 weeks ago.
Did that moment just leave you reeling? As the courtroom digs into the enigmatic text that shook Mr. Jones to his core, Judge Lake calls for the evidence. Mr. Jones unpacks the message's contents, and the courtroom gasps in unison at the unfolding scandal, emphasizing the shock value of this pivotal moment.
It's a message from Facebook. I don't even know.
Jerome, let me see that evidence. You say just 3 weeks ago.
Yes, Your Honor.
You get this message. Why are you claiming that baby? Men running in and out of her house. Don't be a fool. That is not the message you want to get when you think you have a newborn baby. So what's going through your mind when you get this? This is at 12:59 a.m.
You won't see this twist coming. As the narrative takes a sharp turn, Mr. Jones recalls discovering a sneaky text from a neighbor to Ms. Turner at an ungodly hour, hinting at a not-so-innocent rendezvous. This bombshell stirs more doubt about Amir's paternity and points fingers at possible infidelity, cranking the courtroom tension up a notch.
Seen a text message in her phone saying, "Are you okay?" I'm like, this number is not from any of your brothers. She broke down, got to crying and told me. She told me.
I was crying.
She let me know who it was and said that he was trying to come over.
Oh, so you're saying when you confronted her about this, she broke down and started crying, you thought this was out of guilt?
Yes.
Just when you thought it couldn't get more tangled. Amidst the turmoil, Ms. Turner admits to reigniting an old flame due to her suspicions of Mr. Jones's own wanderings. This confession sparks a fiery exchange, highlighting their rocky relationship riddled with distrust and accusations.
So since he want to go out and talk to somebody else, so yeah, I got my ex up like, good morning.
But you
Why would
love
I
him.
tell you good morning?
But you love him.
So, Ms. Turner, you're admitting you began to have a relationship with your ex because you believe
on the phone. We had a relationship. He was living in Memphis. So I hadn't seen him or nothing. We were communicating.
it has been determined by this court. Mr. Jones, you are the father.
Thank you.
Strap in, because this opener is a doozy. Mr. Peterson describes how his world fell apart a month ago when his wife, Mrs. Peterson, revealed that their 22-year-old daughter, LaJoya Jackson, might not be his biological child. This moment sets the stage for the emotional and tumultuous revelations that follow.
Mr. Peterson, just 1 month ago, your world came down when your wife, Mrs. Peterson, revealed she had been keeping a secret. That your 22-year-old daughter, LaJoya Jackson, may not be your biological daughter.
You're not going to believe this one. Mrs. Peterson admits to having had an affair 22 years ago, but asserts her desire to prove that Mr. Peterson is indeed La Joya's biological father. This confession introduces the primary conflict in the episode, highlighting the stakes involved for all parties.
You admit that 22 years ago, during the window of conception, had sex with another man, Mr. Beckham, but you want to prove today in court that Mr. Peterson is Jackson's father.
Talk about a morning shocker. A casual morning turns into a pivotal confrontation when Mr. Peterson overhears his daughter LaJoya questioning her paternity. Mrs. Peterson's avoidance, when confronted, exacerbates the situation, leading to increased tension and confusion.
My daughter LaJoya and her mother, my wife Latia, they were outside talking, and I got up to go outside. Before I could say anything, I heard, "What? Milton might not be my dad?" Looked at my wife and I said, "What is she talking about?" And she ignored me. I asked her again. She kind of teared up and she walked off.
Here's where it gets even stickier. Mr. Peterson expresses his deep bond and lack of doubt regarding LaJoya being his daughter, revealing the profound impact of the revelation on his sense of family and identity. This segment underscores the emotional weight of paternity uncertainties.
We have so much in common. I never, ever would have thought that.
And you and Ms. Peterson, you've been together for how long? 23 years?
Yes.
And married for 13 of those years.
Yes.
So this is a long-standing relationship, and you never knew.
This twist takes the cake. LaJoya details her proactive steps in uncovering the truth about her paternity after learning that her boyfriend was not the father of her child. Her determination to resolve her own paternity confusion mirrors the complexity of familial bonds and secrets.
So then I confronted my mother, which is the conversation that my father, Mr. Peterson, walked and asked her, "Do you want to just go and do it so that, you know, just for my clarity, because I'm feeling some type of way." And she had never admitted that there was a possibility of one guy being my father, potentially being my father. There were multiple guys that could possibly be my father.
This one's a real tearjerker. The paternity issue has led to severe family strife, with Mrs. Peterson sleeping in the car and the family ceasing communication. This breakdown showcases the broader impacts of personal secrets on family dynamics and unity.
To my mother sleeping in the car in the driveway. Ended up getting so sick from sleeping out in the rain, and it's like we don't exist to each other. It's not as much as I'm mad at him, it's as much that I'm hurt to look at him every day. Like, that hurts me, you know? I know that it's not my fault, but I still feel so involved just for the simple fact that I don't want to see him like that.
Grab some popcorn, because this is the drama peak. Mrs. Peterson faces tough questions about her past actions and the number of potential fathers, revealing a much more complicated history than previously disclosed. This revelation shocks the audience and adds layers to the unfolding drama.
Would you ever said anything if this man had not approached her a year ago?
It just feels so weird knowing that it's a potential that somebody else could be my father, because I never thought that this could happen to me. Never thought. I never, oh, this might not be my dad. I just wake up and be like, oh, dad, make me some, oh, this might not be my dad. And now if he feels as if he can't take this and I'm not his child.
Just when you think it's calming down, bam, another curveball. Mr. Beckham enters the courtroom, discussing his brief relationship with Mrs. Peterson and his potential role as LaJoya's father. His previous lack of involvement and current willingness to accept responsibility if proven to be the father introduce new tensions and possibilities into the narrative.
We are getting down to the bottom of this paternity situation as it relates to LaJoya. When did you find out that you could potentially be her biological father?
I found out like about 2 weeks ago. She contacted me through Facebook, and basically she had told me once before that, you know, she could have been pregnant. I had moved. I moved away. But basically, you know, we had met at a party, you know, drinking.
Hold on to your seat. This is the big one.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Peterson, you are not her father.
Oh my God. Are you serious? Really, Mom? I came and asked you. Tell me before we go. Do you know? I know. I thought you knew, Mom. I thought you knew. I'm sorry.
Can you believe this? Miss Vaughn is here claiming Mr. Williams is the dad of their 1-year-old, Connor Williams, pinning their shotgun wedding squarely on the pregnancy. She's also split from him now, and he's bailing on dad duties.
Miss Vaughn, you are here to prove to your husband, Mr. that he is the father of your 1-year-old child, Connor Williams. You say the only reason the two of you got married, pregnancy, and now that you filed for divorce, he refuses to be a father.
Here's where it gets spicy. Mr. Williams throws a curveball, saying the wedding was a sham, accusing Miss Vaughn of gold digging, and topping it off with a bombshell. There's a sugar daddy in the mix he thinks might actually be Connor's real pops.
Mr. Williams, you say you got married under false pretenses, claim Miss Vaughn only you for your money. You also believe Miss Vaughn has a secret sugar daddy and had that man throughout your entire relationship, and he's the real father.
What's this now? Judge Lake dives into the drama, quizzing Miss Vaughn on what exactly Mr. Williams has done for baby Connor. Spoiler, it's not much. A few diapers and a couple of onesies don't make a dad, right? Buckle up, this ride's about to get bumpier.
Brian hasn't did anything for him. The only thing he has done was cases of diapers and 2 outfits when he was a newborn.
And the child is 1 year old?
Yes, and he watched him while I was at work for a couple of times. It's not enough of a month full of Sundays.
Hold the phone. Did he just say that? The court digs into the nitty-gritty of what supporting a child really means, beyond just throwing cash at the problem. Mr. Williams and Miss Vaughn can't even agree on the basics.
I've done much more than that.
It is true.
One, you can't put a price on how much a man can child.
Yes, you can.
No, you cannot.
Mr. Williams, you saying you have supported this child. You're also saying now, I've supported him, but he's not mine.
Yes, I did, because it was based on a love and that I was being married to Miss Vaughn.
Yikes, that's gotta sting. Sean, the bystander in this soap opera, shares some juicy campus gossip about Miss Vaughn's fidelity, stirring doubts about Connor's paternity long before the wedding bells rang.
Brian, defending her honor after campus, let him know that that was not his baby.
Brian knows that he's Connor's father.
I didn't even know her. I didn't meet her.
You say people telling you she was promiscuous and she was having sex with other people and the child may not be yours?
Because I did disclaim that at point she was putting me in the doghouse, so it gave me time to not be with her.
Whoa, plot twist. Mr. Williams suspects a high roller sugar daddy is lurking in the shadows, dishing out more support than he ever did. The courtroom's heating up with tales of secret benefactors and denied responsibilities.
Mr. Williams' court paper, he alludes to the fact that he thinks you have a sugar daddy. What is this all about?
He is one of my childhood friends, and when I called and I was not taking care of his responsibilities, when I was short on a couple of things and I couldn't call and ask Brian for it, he made sure he was. He has never once said that he was Connor's father. He's always trying to get Brian to step up to the plate and be a father.
Hold up, did you catch that? Amidst this circus, proof surfaces of Miss Vaughn cozying up to Papa Bear on Facebook, hinting he might be more than just a friend. The stakes are high, and the next revelation might just topple everything.
Who is this person?
It's her Papa Bear.
Papa Bear. Bear?
Yes.
How do you know that?
I've retrieved evidence from her Facebook account.
And you say she calls him Papa Bear. This is an exchange between Ms. Vaughn and Papa Bear. Ms. Vaughn says, I think he should get a DNA test. And then Papa Bear says, see?
Didn't see that coming. Amidst the chaos, Miss Vaughn drops the bomb. She's been more than friends with Papa Bear. As the truth spills, the court's about to reel from the aftershocks.
Have you been intimate with Papa Bear?
We are in an intimate relationship.
Oh, you are in an intimate relationship.
But she's still married.
Oh, where's that?
You get it from your mama.
No, you get your behavior from your mother.
But we've
you
never
all
been
don't
on
know
31st
anything.
Street.
Let's get it correct, sir.
Can you handle more? As Miss Vaughn lays out the hefty price tag of raising Connor alone, Mr. Williams defends his patchy support. Money's flying, accusations are swirling, and the tension's through the roof. What comes next? You guessed it, more fireworks.
Do you have any evidence that you brought to court to validate those expenses? So these are the receipts for child care.
Yes, for, his daddy's last name.
All right, so this is 3 months of child care.
And I get no government assistance, so it's straight cash.
That you having to pay child, able to go to child care, presumably so you can go to work or whatever you have to do.
And now, the moment of truth. The court's on edge as the DNA results are about to drop. Will Mr. Williams really be the father, or has this been a wild goose chase? The answer's coming up, and it's going to shake things up.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Williams, you are the father.
Pay the lady. Pay the lady.
Can you believe this opener? Ms. Marks McGee opens her case, claiming Mr. Wright is the biological father of her son Amari. She's really laying it on thick, insisting Mr. Wright hasn't stepped up for their 2-year-old.
Ms. Marks McGee, you say the defendant needs to step up and take responsibility for 2-year-old son Amari because you know he is your son's biological father.
You've got to hear this. Mr. Wright fires back, suggesting Ms. Marks McGee kept her pregnancy a secret from him initially and doubts he's the father. He thinks she's pinning paternity on him because another man bolted.
You claim Ms. Marks McGee didn't tell you about her baby until he was 3 weeks old, and you know you are not the father.
This twist is juicy. The judge digs into their relationship backstory. Ms. Marks McGee admits it started as a rebound fling, but soon Mr. Wright was moving in, doing chores, and playing house.
The nature of our relationship was he was really just supposed to be something for me to get over someone else, but things went further than what they were supposed to go.
Oh, he was first just a convenient distraction.
In my mind, yes.
This is a doozy. Ms. Marks McGee passionately defends her claim that Mr. Wright is definitely the daddy, given he was her only partner around conception time. Stick around, the plot thickens.
He's a very wonderful man, he really is, and I fell in love with him too, so I call it a lost love triangle that I was caught in. However, I know for a fact that Mr. Wright is Amari's dad, because he was the only man I was sleeping with around the time of conception.
Hold on to your seats. Mr. Wright talks about his vulnerability when he first shacked up with Ms. Marks McGee. It was supposed to be a temporary roof over his head, but turned into something more.
I was vulnerable.
You were vulnerable.
I was vulnerable. I had left for a minute and came back, when I came back here and met her, I really didn't have anything.
You had a place in your life where you needed,
I guess you could say that.
Was it a relationship or was it I'm just gonna stay here for a while? What?
Yes, it was a relationship.
Didn't see that coming. A curveball comes when Ms. Marks McGee confesses she fibbed about being pregnant before, more than once. It's turned Mr. Wright into a skeptic. The surprises aren't stopping yet.
So what was the issue? You kept thinking you were pregnant or you weren't?
No, I thought I was pregnant one time. I really found out that I was pregnant. I wasn't feeling myself. I know how when I'm pregnant, I'm a female. I've had a child before. I've had kids. When the time came, we were moving out of our apartment October 1st. I took a test and it was positive, and I told him from his social media that I didn't like.
This is a head scratcher. Mr. Wright shares his deep doubts about being Amari's father, overwhelmed by the sea of lies that seems to surround their relationship. The truth is just around the corner.
You have sincere doubt, Mr. Wright.
Yes.
You truly don't know.
I don't know at all. It's too many lies. It's just too many lies surrounding this whole situation. You know about how a female got a little girl code, right? How you could look at your friend and you could tell a whole paragraph about doing this. You know what I mean,
That's
right?
how we do?
Look how you looking right now. You
We really can't do this.
You'll get a kick out of this. Mr. Wright describes a sneaky move where he impersonated Ms. Marks McGee, texting her friend to test her loyalty, which only confused him more when the friend suggested there might be another man.
You could being around enough of that, you could pick up on it sooner or later. There's actually one instance I acted as if I was her, texting a friend.
You text from your phone or you text from her phone?
I text from her phone. Like, what's going on? What she got going on the phone? So when I finally had the chance to grab it, I went ahead and texted a friend. Texted one of the friends on her phone.
You text one of the friends that she has girl code with.
Yes.
This is eyebrow-raising. Mr. Wright struggles to see any resemblance between himself and Amari, which fuels his paternity doubts despite the bond they've built. Wait till you see what happens next.
I don't think Amari's mine at all.
You don't?
No, ma'am.
Tell me why.
If you want to first, you could bring up, like, I don't see me in him, like, that. He doesn't look at all like me. It was just too much going on. She was messing with some other guy, you know. I just don't feel like none of this add up. I tried to reconcile and, you know what I'm saying, try to be around. He would disappear all the time, and I couldn't find it.
Get ready for a bombshell.
It has been determined by this court, Mr. Wright, you are not his father.
Can you handle the suspense? Anna Payne steps up with a major claim, alleging Mr. Yates is her biological father, and she's here to prove it once and for all. Mr. Yates, totally taken aback, learned about Anna's existence only 4 years ago and is seriously doubting the whole situation. As they square off in court, everyone's on the edge of their seats, waiting to see how the truth unfolds.
Ms. Anna Payne, after years of searching for your father, you have defended Mr. Yates court today to prove once and for all that he is your biological father. Mr. Yates, you say that you were completely cited by allegations that Anna was your daughter only 4 years ago. Serious doubt fathered her 20 years ago.
Just when you thought it couldn't get more dramatic. At a tender age of 9, Anna's world turned topsy-turvy when her mom dropped a bombshell. The man she thought was her dad wasn't. Instead, her actual dad was apparently some guy in Alabama, whereabouts unknown. As Anna tries to piece together her fractured family history, you won't believe the curveballs coming up next.
I was 9 years old. I was in the living room watching cartoons or with toys or something, and my mom told me to come outside. I figured we were going outside to play, and when we were walking around the front yard, I said, well, I have some news. Well, my ex-husband is not your dad. And I was like, well, what do you mean? She said, he's not your biological dad. And I asked her who my dad was, and she told me his name, and she said, I don't know why it matters, because he's not what you're gonna expect.
You're not going to believe this twist. Mr. Yates recounts the jaw-dropping moment he got slapped with a child support summons out of the blue while at work. This was the spark that lit the fuse, leading him into a whirlwind of legal and emotional turmoil, all culminating in today's paternity showdown.
I have here a summons for child support 4 years ago.
Let me see that evidence. Jerome, will you hand that to me? So you're saying you received a summons?
Your Honor, I was at work and Mobile County Sheriff's Department showed up at my job calling me to the side to talk about the summons, telling me I had to appear in court.
Just 4 years ago?
Yes, ma'am.
Before that, you had absolutely no clue?
No, Your Honor.
Hold on to your popcorn, folks. In a plot twist worthy of a soap opera, Ms. Payne counters Mr. Yates' claim of ignorance about Anna's pregnancy, insisting he was right there in the clinic when she found out. The room is spinning with different versions of their past, each more conflicting than the last.
He would drive us down to the place where I found out I was pregnant. He was in there with me when I found out.
So you went to a clinic, a facility to find out if you were, he went there with you?
Yes, ma'am.
You don't remember that, Mr. Yates?
Your Honor, I have 5 children. I've been to the doctor every time they've had ultrasound. I wouldn't have skipped out on this if I'd have known.
Did he believe Miss Payne at the time? Father, did you tell him it's your baby?
Yes, ma'am.
This is where it gets really juicy. A glaring court error comes to light, showing that Anna and Ms. Payne missed their DNA test appointment, casting a shadow of doubt over their claims. This snafu adds another layer of mystery and confusion to the already tangled narrative.
So here is a failure to appear for a DNA test. The box that's checked is respondent not appearing. And Anna weren't there. Do you remember this action, Ms. Payne?
I remember getting the notice, but I don't remember if we didn't have a way or what happened while we didn't make it.
So you do remember that it was supposed to happen, but you can't remember why you did.
It was either I didn't have a way or I forgot about the appointment.
Grab your tissues because here it comes.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Payne, you are her father.